Hello guys, when I was younger, I loved watching videos on YouTube where beautiful girls were talking about the things they have in their bag. I don't know why, but it's always interesting to watch. And when you are a Ukrainian girl, you may have a different kind of bag, a go-to bag. The one you need in case of emergency caused by the unprovoked and very violent Russian aggression. The majority of you in the community tab of this channel voted for the video about my go-to bag, and I think there are a lot of useful things that I can show you. Most importantly, they are quite universal, and you may consider putting them in your go-to bag, even if not because of war, then because of other natural disasters, or simply to stop your anxiety. By the way, this is a very interesting moment because in Ukrainian, the term we use to name this go-to bag or grab-and-go bag is тривожна валізка. This can be translated as an anxious bag, and I think it beautifully describes the feelings you get when you actually need one. Honestly, I did not use mine very often, and I would like to start this video with showing you my backpack. It's a backpack and it's green. I like bright colors for my accessories. This is a wartime accessory, and actually depending on how close you are to the front line, to the Russian invaders, you may not want to choose this kind of bright color. I live in the western part of Ukraine, which is considered semi-safe. We don't have Russian soldiers walking the streets. So bright color in my case can be good because if a person is lost or if a person is hurt, the bright color will help to identify that person. But once again, if you need to hide from the invaders or any other dangerous people, this is definitely not the color you will pick. And perhaps as a person that likes to structure the narrative, I would like to say that these go-to bags surely differ depending on the season you may need them and depending on the region in which you live. I am lucky, once again, to live in the territory that is considered semi-safe. What does it mean? We only get drones and missiles, and quite rarely, not every day. For example, ballistic missiles, like every 3 months. Drones can come more often, but we don't have artillery shelling, grads, or Russian soldiers close to our cities. So in our case, it is just to go through the period of an air raid alert or bombing of the city. But in some regions that are closer to the front lines, people actually need more things in their go-to bag because they may stay in a shelter for days. And seasonal, because in winter, one of the greatest problems you can encounter while leaving your house or staying in a shelter is cold. During summer, it is much easier, but I will not show you the clothes that people typically put there. Of course, this will be your underwear, this will be some additional socks, maybe a hoodie or whatever makes you feel comfortable. But let's start with the most important things everyone puts in this go-to bag. Mine is less active, once again, than a go-to bag of people who live in Kharkiv, for example, or Dnipro, but all the major things are in, and you can actually note it down because unfortunately we live in the very turbulent times. And remember to subscribe to this new channel. So these are documents, and all the most important documents about your property, maybe your education, you want to carry it all with you. And of course, a passport. I will show you a Ukrainian passport because I am proud to be Ukrainian. And actually, now I will not show you more, but this is good because this way you can secure the information about yourself. What many people forget, especially abroad, is that lots of Ukrainians who fled their home, who know that their houses are destroyed, lost access to any proof of their identities and so on. Right now, Ukraine is very digitalized. Maybe let me know in the next videos, would you like more information on that. We have a very good digital service with our data, with our identification codes, anything, but still the paper versions of the documents are important. But perhaps even more important than that is your medicine. This is mine. And you put there the most important pills that you have, I don't know, things that you may need when you stay for a long period of time in the basement. This is not the best period, but perhaps the most important ones. And in my case, I also have a double of my contact lens because I don't want to stay blind somewhere in the darkness. And well, different things that you consider important. This is always in my go-to bag. Even if I change something, take out of it, I always leave my medicine there. Those of you who follow my main channel, and I will connect a link to it here, remember that I've lost my mom during the war because of illness, but at that start of the invasion, it was very important for me to bring all of her medication and also all of the information about her illness. A lot of people lost the records, especially when Russians bombed so many hospitals. And I remember when she was going through her chemotherapy in February and in March 2022, there were a lot of people from the northern eastern parts of Ukraine who did not have any information about their protocol of treatment. And it was really difficult for doctors to adjust, but they were doing tremendous and very heroic work. By the way, this is a huge front line that many don't speak about, and a lot of heroism that happens not only on the front lines, but in the hospitals and schools. Let me know in the comments below, would you like a separate video about that? So this first aid kit is also very good. I don't have a lot of things like that in my backpack, but I should perhaps. Of course, this is an interesting thing, and I'm showing it like very quickly because I don't know, maybe YouTube will consider it something different. This is a whistle or a thing that can help you produce some sound when needed, when you want the rescuers to find you. Of course, there is always water, and the more of water you can bring with you, the safer you feel. Once again, living in a semi-safe zone, typically when I go to a bomb shelter during an air raid alert, I don't bring all of these things with me, but if the things get really bad, it's better to have all of it here. This is a very important thing that we use. This is a tourniquet, and it helps to stop the bleeding. Mine was gifted to me by my friend from the United States. This is not a classical, you know, like military one. This is a civilian one. It has this bright color. But with Russia targeting any location, not following the rules of war, I believe that every Ukrainian must have a tourniquet, not just in a go-to bag, but in this like crossbody, like literally everywhere, because they save lives. And by the way, recently there was a beautiful story from Italy where a Ukrainian veteran saved, it seems to me, an Italian teenager who was stabbed, and our soldier knew how to use tourniquet, had one with him, and saved the life of that teenager. I'm really happy when Ukrainians can contribute and do something to your beautiful countries for the support, and just because human beings have to be like that to each other. I sure have a lamp, like this is a flashlight, an additional lamp, because that's what we always need. Then this is a plastic raincoat because it can be warm, or it can be wet, or it can be dirty, or even in case of some really dangerous things like nuclear attacks or targeted objects, it's much better to put something like plastic above your clothes, so it's quite comfortable. I don't like umbrellas. I personally like these things even during a normal thunderstorm. Well, of course you need fire, and I have also matches. I don't know if I will find them now, but Okay, I did not plan the space really well, but this is another flashlight that I have during the blackouts. I used it a lot. It's just like very comfortable. You can put it on your jeans, and actually that is very important. Of course, hygiene is also very important. In my case, these are wet wipes. And once again, if you realize that you live in the region where you can spend days and weeks, you may need more of this because such things like medicine, hygiene, cold, they decide your, if not survival, then your well-being. And it is important when you are under stress, when you hear the sounds of explosions. I thought of making a video on this channel about the sounds that we hear, because this is a very unique experience and actually quite surprising how quickly you learn to identify. That is a dangerous sound of a ballistic missile coming, that is a drone, and that is an air defense working, and you like this sound. Let me know, would you like a separate video on that? Various snacks, chocolates, nuts, raisins, other things you may put, canned food. Also, a lot of lists that advise food products. They may say buy soldier, like military food, you know, there are a lot of condensed stuff and so on. But at the very beginning of the invasion, people literally could get killed for having military food in their backpacks because Russians do not follow the rules of war. And whenever they identified anything connected with the army, Ukrainian, any other, they could actually do serious harm to the people. So think about the products that have a long date, like you don't need to hold them in the refrigerator, because once again, you won't think every day about changing these products and so on. And they have to be rich in energy, maybe like products that you can take to the mountains or while hiking. Once again, chocolate, instant coffee, honey, nuts, and so on and so forth. Very important things for any person is, of course, these power banks. We have a lot of them. I have a bigger one that I take, for example, when I travel to Kyiv, because electricity outages are more longer and more severe in Kyiv than in my city, because Kyiv is very big and they have underground, and that's the reason. It's nothing else. And what else can I show? Of course, a lot of chargers that you need, and you may actually consider taking a phone like that. They are really good because they are difficult to trace. And by the way, Ukrainian soldiers, when they go to the positions close to the front lines, they don't take smartphones. They are very easily detected, even if you turn them off. So these old school hello telephones are actually very, very cool. And they can keep a charge really long. When I remember myself at the university, I loved this like flip-flops. I felt they look very American and I liked it. So guys, this is practically all that I have in my go-to bag. It is always ready, like it's never far away from me. I hope I won't need it, but it's always better to be prepared. So let me sum up what are the most important elements, and they will differ depending on your country, season, your region, and the reason for why you use this go-to bag. But for me, number one is medicines that you may need, and you have to predict that first, there is emergency things like a first aid kit. And second, there are some typical conditions that you have, but they also demand specific attention. Also documents, because they will help you, I don't know, cross the border if needed, or show them to police if you are asked. For the Ukrainian men, they also need to carry passport with them all the time, and also their military documents. That is the request of the martial law of this wartime. Also, food and water. I'd say water and food. various tools like knives, like flashlights, like whistles, anything you can consider important. I will make you laugh right now. I was looking for this list, and for example, the Ukrainian Ministry of Education has its list, and I don't wish any of your ministries to have such lists because it is always a sign of something really bad. But they also speak about condoms. And at the same time, they make really funny comments like, don't think that you will have romantic mood in the shelter. It's not very likely, but they are really good to protect from water, gadgets, or they can actually work as this things that you can cover your wounds with. So that was funny to read. I don't have it in my backpack. Hygiene, of course, clothing, and various navigation tools, because one of the greatest fears that any person has in times of the big war is lack of mobile connection and internet. And in that case, paper maps can help you if you're not me, because I'm a kind of person that cannot read a paper map, and it's just like better to feel the energy of Earth and just walk in the necessary direction. So medicine, documents, food, clothes, and instruments that can help you. Once again, I wish that you never need a thing like that in your life, and may it be just an entertaining video to you. Remember to subscribe. This makes me so happy and actually proves that this channel is interesting and needed. And always give me ideas for the next videos in the comments below. Follow me on the main channel, Anna from Ukraine. Subscribe to my other social media platforms. All of that is in the description of this video. And traditionally, a lot of gratitude to the patrons and sponsors and those people who buy me coffee to inspire more videos to come. Please let me know what would you like to see in the next video. Thank you for your support, and Slava Ukraini!